Welcome to Fiction Authors Talk Books, or Fat Books Podcast. This episode, we're doing a reflection on how the podcast has been, what we're looking forward to, and some behind-the-scenes tea. This is a safe space for people of the industry to talk about the industry, the craft, and we'll definitely go off script. If you enjoy the podcast and would like to see your favorite author on here, send them this link, and they can get in touch with us at fatbookspodcast@gmail.com. We take all authors who write fiction and have been published as long as they're polite. Thanks for joining us, and on to the podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Sorry, frog.
It's okay. Doing well. How are you?
Same old.
Right.
So we've been doing the podcast over a year now, and I thought it'd be a good idea just to kind of look back, maybe for those who don't know kind of how it started, what was the rough parts for us, and how we got better at this, and kind of what we're thinking in the future.
Yeah, sounds good.
It seems like a good, January early episode to just reflect and
look forward to new things and better things and,
yeah, easier times, because God, this was rough.
It was.
So for those who don't know, it started out when I did a Facebook live stream about 3 years ago. I was in this apartment and I barely announced it. And then like 1,000 people showed up.
Right.
And people were losing their minds at me just answering questions and Vader in the background. Vader was the star of the show.
Of course.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "I want more Vader. You should do more videos, do more lives." And then a lot of people, and maybe not enough because it's not like the podcast exploded or did that much. But I had a bunch of people be like, "Do a podcast. Everybody does a podcast nowadays. It'd be fun to hear more."
Mm-hmm.
We did it very fair. You and I talked, and we did the post of like, who would you like to see on the podcast? Who would you like to hear from? Who do you think would jive? Can't believe I just said jive. I don't know that I've ever said jive, but okay. Who would vibe well,
Boy, they shot to the moon. I mean, we got some heavy hitters suggestions too,
If somebody said like Nora Roberts, I was like, keep dreaming. Right. But I appreciate it.
I mean, we reached out to every single person, so.
Yeah, we really did.
But there was a great mix of, starting off newbie authors and then all the way up to Nora Roberts.
I was very nervous. You were very nervous. We'd never done anything like this. We're both like, what is it? I'm an extroverted introvert.
Correct. We're like, both that. Right on the cusp.
Like our small group, we could hang out for, Jesus, get us on the phone.
Yeah.
Or even like my friends around here. But like groups of people or new people. I mean, how many times did I like throw up or not be able to sleep before we talked to a new author?
I think every time almost.
Yeah,
almost every time.
Almost every time. And that's so professional and like, awesome to admit. But you'd be like, how bad? And I'd be like, only once. I got most worried. So we were nervous to do this. But then the first response, do you remember this? The first response was from, and I was like, this was a mistake. We can't do this. This person was such a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was this whole thing of like, wait, you're not going to give me like money? I'm like, this doesn't make money. This still doesn't make money. Like, what are you talking about? This is money. Yeah, do you remember this? She like laid into me and was this whole thing of like, I want this, I want that. I'm like, do you think this is Ellen? Like, where do you think this is coming from? Like, and I got so upset. I was like, this was a mistake. Like, I can't believe people would be like this.
Yeah.
And the kicker of it is it wasn't anybody we invited.
Right.
Do you remember
like
that?
Random person.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
I think I sent you the screenshots or whatever.
And I'm
Facebook.
like, I don't recognize that name.
Yeah. And you were like, this bad? Like, what is, like, how could somebody be so mean?
Right.
And didn't you look her up and you were like, wait, you're higher ranked than her? I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really matter in life, like to the egos and the cosmos and people thinking there. But then, yeah, we were both like, why? I don't remember. And yeah, sure enough, we looked it up and I didn't invite her. So it was somebody petty who was salty they didn't get named by, that's why I did the list. We
wanted it to be fair and for, people that actually wanted to listen to it, to listen to people they wanted to listen to, right? That was our whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And my goal in life is to get in as least trouble as possible.
Oh, yeah. I can vouch for that.
And I was very transparent of this. If the fans named people, I wasn't the jerk for not inviting somebody to the party.
Correct.
And it wasn't like there were people I wouldn't invite. I've said others can invite people since. Like we've had other people join. Like it's not a big deal. But it's hard. It's hard to do. And I'm not an outgoing person. So as this person proved, like you get trouble no matter how well you try to handle things. But yeah, so that was the first response. I want to cut. I want this. I want that. And I'm like, you weren't invited. I think that was the moment we were like, oh no, what did we do?
Right, exactly.
Why did we do this? Well, the kicker is at least you get paid to be here. I'm just like, why am I doing
Because you like to torture yourself.
Yeah.
Look at your profession.
Yeah.
Like that's self-torture right there.
There's clearly a part of me that hates myself.
Right, clearly.
But everybody who is actually invited has been lovely.
Right.
Nobody has been jerks about anything. We've had a few people that it just didn't jive. Like, why am I saying jive? Jesus. It wasn't like a good match. Once we talked a little bit, no hard feelings. There were a few, I think the only ones I got annoyed with where they started to talk to me and ask about whatever, or one even, a bigger name even asked like what dates I had available. And that was 9 months ago that I haven't heard like.
Yep.
So that's a little rude. But again, life happens, I'm not going to like, make a voodoo doll here. Like it's fine. But that's really been like the only bad, I guess, is like,
right.
And we had a lot of non-responses though, which, I tend to always respond, especially if it's like I don't want to say a real request, but like I get a lot of things of like, would you be willing to, sell your rights? Would you be willing to do this? We could make you explode. We could, so I don't count those as like valid offers you have to like reply to. But if another offer contacts me about something, even if I'm super late, I always reply and like, hey, thanks for the invite. I'm really sorry. That's the only thing that kind of irked me. Like, well, for all we know, it went into somebody's spam and people are just busy.
Right. You never know. Or they were sick that week or, get 10,000 emails a day.
Yeah, I get that. I get that too. We did follow up. I think we sent three invite emails over the course of a few months just to make sure anybody could have got it. But we really did only get like half responses, which shocked me. I would have thought more people would have just said, no, it's not my thing,
right.
Which is fine. We had people that did say that. And no hard feelings if they change their mind, the invitation's there. But yeah, that was the only thing that was kind of like, I didn't expect that professionally. I would have thought more people, but everybody who did was very polite. We haven't had the only problems we've had are technology problems.
Yep. That has happened a couple of times. And there's nothing we can do on our end sometimes.
But at least the one time you heard her much better than I did. To me, it was robotic. And I'm like, and you're like, no, it's okay. I can work with this. I'm like, you can't?
I have magic fingers.
Well, I was kind of like, how are your ears? Like, what are you hearing that? Or I was afraid you just didn't want to like insult them or be the bad guy. So I'm like, no, can you really? Like, really? Because yeah, it was robotic.
Don't sugarcoat this, Lisa.
If it's going to be crap in the end.
Right.
Yeah. So what was it like the first time you sat down to edit one of these episodes?
Oh gosh. Well, I've done editing before, but it was like, I don't really want any of those long pauses and I say this or that too much. So if you could cut that out or, if you hear
how many times I apologize in life.
Right. Exactly. Make us sound, professional. Yet like we're having fun. And it's not like I cut it so that, you guys said one thing when you met another. Nothing like that.
Oh God, no. The only thing we've really cut is personal stuff, especially when some stuff they say about like their kids and stuff. I'm a little hesitant to ever have anything said about like that they're going to hear when they're older and be like, my mom said that about me.
Right.
Or different things like just too much personal stuff, and we've checked with everybody. So yeah, none of the cutting we've intentionally cut things to make people look better.
Yep.
Because
yep.
It wasn't really a different viewpoint. I don't think she understood kind of the terminology she was using. So we just kind of cut that a little bit to not sound.
Yeah, to make her sound better.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it took you something ridiculous. Like you told me the amount of hours.
There were times, okay, when I would spend 20 hours a week literally audio cutting through the podcast.
It's insane.
20 hours, like literally get up in the morning, start work,
Yeah.
total.
Well, and we were doing, so some of the first episodes or some of the first recordings were like 3 hours.
Right.
That got cut down. Jesus.
Oh, and at that time, we didn't have the bot that we have now. So we're doing this on Discord. And if somebody talks over someone else, the way that we had it set up, I couldn't get different audio tracks. And so there were times when I actually had to parse words or whatever so that we could hear you both, or I had to clip it so that it still made sense, even though I had to chop out parts of it because there was a jumble of words together. So yeah, but it was insane. Yeah.
I remember you sending me a screenshot with like, it looked like a music track with all the different like lines and ups and downs and like,
right.
Yeah, like you see an audio track or something. You were sending me this whole thing, and I was like, "I'm gonna shut up now and go away. Please don't make me look at that again."
Well, right, and
I wasn't being mean. I don't feel like I've ever been mean. Like, what is taking you so long? I just kind of didn't understand. Right. And you'd be like, "Yeah, I've got like this many more." I'm like, "What?" Like,
right, right.
And then I didn't realize also how much I was making your life harder.
It's okay. We learned, right?
I mean, you get paid if I'm an idiot or not. So, like, some days.
Yeah. As we went on, we got better. We got faster. We figured out what we needed to cut and what we didn't need to cut. It went a lot quicker further on. But those first couple, we were really trying to hit it where you guys wanted it. Trying to be excellent right off the bat. And
the two things I've heard from authors afterwards is that was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, which is always great. Good. And I never sound that smart, thank Lisa. Like, editing is really good. Like, that's
good.
So even if we're always going to be small time, we have a big time editor because the podcast sounds much better than a lot of I've even listened to on Apple or whatnot. Like, I'm always hearing feedback on this one or that one, and I'm not a big podcaster, but the editing's really good and people have fun, and that's kind of what I want. But it was really stressing us out, which is why we went to 1 episode a month, and I think you're still crying in joy.
I am. I mean, there were a lot of months there when I was really struggling to get everything else that needed to be done. So while I love doing the podcast and we've met so many amazing authors, like really cool people and, interesting conversations that we've had. And boy, you guys, like we have to cut some stuff. Like we have to cut stuff. There's good stuff left on the floor. And no matter how amazing it's been, it's nice not to have to. That's not what my passion in life is. Is editing audio.
Well, and even just recording twice or 3 a month to get, for 2 a month episodes or whatever.
Oh boy.
It was very stressful for me. And in general, everybody's been really great about it. But sometimes, I mean, it's not a secret that sometimes authors are a problem. I say this as a problem author. And not a lot of times, but enough times it was like freaking herding cats.
Right.
Then there's also life. So like we had a couple times, there was a medical emergency.
Yeah, a couple.
And luckily she was able to let us know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a reoccurring thing that she kept trying to reschedule.
I'm so glad everything worked out.
Yeah. Super nice about it. Super sweet. One just completely blew us off.
Oh, well.
Was that the one we never got back to or we never talked to again?
Yeah.
One completely blew us off and we never just contacted and like kissed my butt. Right. The other one completely blew us off, but then found us later and was like, I'm a jerk. I'm a big fat jerk. Please forgive me in my existence. And it was so cute the way she apologized. We're like, it's okay. It happens.
It's fine.
There have also been a handful of time zones.
Yes.
Oh, God. Do you remember that?
Oh.
Who was it in Australia?
Barb,
it was like, because
was it Barb?
Yeah.
And we were trying to figure that out. Oh my gosh. Time zones are hard, guys. because I'm even in a time zone.
Yeah, we're in 2 different time zones, which
Yes.
whatever, it's an hour apart. It's not that big of a deal, and you're especially a morning person. But
Right.
I think it was Barb, yeah, because she kept answering where she was from, not where she was located.
Right.
And so I think at first we were like doing the time zone of Spain, but she was in Australia
Or New Zealand or
that
something.
was a hot,
yes.
hot mess. Yeah, that one was a hot mess, and I mean, she was very apologetic. It happens, but you and I came out the other end just like, what did we do wrong? Like, what happened here? How did this get so?
Yeah.
Or like sending messages. Like, I remember sending a couple before, because we've had a couple people from Australia, and like sending messages before I go to bed, like, you're gonna see this when you wake up, don't forget, like, this is your reminder. But yeah, it's kind of super stressful to be like, wake up and like hope this really comes together, because you and I are busy. And I mean, not to be like I'm a sensitive author, but the days that we got blown off or whatever, I was like, I'm too angry to write. Like, that's just I'm annoyed. Like, and everybody, most everybody made it right or whatever. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I have a temper. I don't hide that.
Well, plus you angsted about it all night long.
Yeah, I really
probably threw up, kept yourself, and then you gotta go through that again. And it's like, mother trucker.
I have trouble sleeping when I know there's an alarm, because I'm always nervous that I'm going to sleep through whatever.
Me too.
I never do, but I'm always
Right.
nervous that all of a sudden my iPhone or whatever won't work. The sun won't rise. Whatever will happen that will not wake me up. Granted, I wake up pretty regularly at like 7:30 on my own, and I never set an alarm. Like, my body's just trained to that now. But yeah, anytime I have to set an alarm, I get very anxious about it, which is why I stopped setting alarms. But
Right. I mean, you have a built-in one. Eventually, Vader's gonna wake you up because he's got to go out, right?
Yeah, but not until like 9:00. Sorry, my popsicle just like deconstructed in my mouth. Okay, but I am feeling much better now.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no, Vader is in like old man mode now, and he hears his name. He's looking at me like, "What, mommy?" Vader's in like old man mode now, where a lot of times I get up at 7, I start the laundry, start writing, whatever, and he'll come just like out at 8:30, almost 9, and like stretch and like, okay, we can go potty now, mom. And it cracks me up because I see people outside and they're like, wow, I thought you were a morning person. I'm like, I am.
Guess who isn't?
Yeah. Somebody's an old man sleeping in now.
Aww.
Right, old man? Yeah. Bring it to mommy. Give me the squeaky. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll owe you a blueberry. Yes, blueberries. Blueberries. Yes.
I love how you have him trained to give you the squeakies, because those things are not cool.
No. And it was a very difficult train. Like, legit. Vader, like, so Vader was a disaster. Like, he liked to bite. He I've had so many people be like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky." I'm like, no.
No.
That's a common misconception. He liked to say hello with his teeth. He was a jumpy dog. He was a dog. Like, it's
right, a puppy, right?
Yeah, but to give my son credit, he is incredibly intelligent. Like, he's smarter than most people, and that is not my bias. He opens doors. Oh yeah. Like, he will open, when I close him in my office when I leave, he will open the door and not his toesies will not cross the line, but his paws will be right by the edge of the doorway. Like, I could have left if I wanted to. I want more treats, because I didn't. So yeah, he's incredibly smart, which made training better. The moment he got it, he got it. So that was very helpful, unless he doesn't want to.
Right.
So that was very helpful. But yeah, Vader was a lot of work, and I don't stop. He's 9 and we still do trainings. And people are like, what are you doing? I've had people here a lot be like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're training. He's like, he's an adult. I'm like, yeah, training doesn't stop, dude. Like, that's why your dog's a disaster, because you just did it for a little bit.
That whole you can't teach old dogs new tricks
is bull.
No.
Yeah.
It's bull
He
crap.
loves it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about doing those push button talking things with him? Like, to have him communicate with you?
No, because it's not, thank you, baby. It's not that he's not smart enough. He's too excitable.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can't train a dog, is he just goes ballistic, and he's too excitable. And I wouldn't want to train that out of him. He's 9 and acts like a puppy. Like, that's one of Vader's greatest things.
That's awesome.
Also, my son talks too much. Well, not too much. I don't want to be mean. But if I give him another way to communicate with me, he will never shut up. ever.
Here, the most productive author in the world is shut down by her dog asking her questions constantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see it in my head.
Talks to me
Mom.
all the time. Like,
Mom.
Yeah.
Mom.
Oh yeah,
mom,
it would be
mom.
very much a Stewie Griffin situation. Mom. Or like those birds from Dory. What was the first one? Yeah, the seagulls. Bob, mine. But he'll come out and just start talking to me. I'll be like, "Mommy, baby's working." Baby, mommy's working. I said that one backwards. He'll like give a huff and go back, and then the moment the funny thing is he used to know the number pad on my keyboard because I would put my word count into my chart.
I remember this happening.
Yeah, you were on the phone, I think, the one time or something. And I hit enter, and you could hear he came back out and started talking to me like, "Let's go. What are we doing with it?"
Yep.
But now my new keyboard doesn't have that number pad, so there are times that I can actually get up and out of my chair.
No.
Well, plus, yeah. Well,
Oh.
I'm assuming part of it is maybe Vader's hearing isn't as great now that he's.
No.
Yeah.
We're not going to think that. We're not going to think that.
No, I mean it is what it is. As long as he's still active and he feels, or it's his selective hearing. Maybe he's just sleeping deeper because he's an old man. I don't know. But there are times that I can almost get like the legs of my chair down before he like realizes something's going on, or maybe he thinks it's the ice maker. I don't know. But it's funny, like he doesn't know what's going on now that he's lost his number pad key enter to. Such a goofy thing. My son knows the click of that one key.
Oh. But I mean, he is your helper. That was part of his job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It cracks me up though. But yeah, that's why I don't do that stuff. I think he could absolutely understand it and figure it out. Vader is so smart that he has vocal, visual, and whistle commands.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I had to do it because he's so excitable that I could yell whatever and it wouldn't cut through the crazy.
Right.
Especially like now with the dog park, or we haven't been going because of the doggy virus and everything. But with the dog park and everything and playing with his friends, he would need to hear the whistle to cut through the crazy. Goofy kid.
Right. Yeah, depending on how excitable they are, different things work,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
for sure.
Good. So have you used him as inspiration in any of your books? Just wondering.
Not really. I don't think I have a lot of dogs because I normally have werewolves.
I mean, I was going to say you have some shifters that are canine, correct?
Yeah, but wolves. I used to have puppy shifters under old pen name. Yes, they were dog shifters, but something was wrong with their DNA, and every so often they would be forever like puppies in the shifters. That was a little weird of a series, but it was kind of fun to play with.
I mean, you're not afraid to try weird.
Yeah.
That whole let's pile, reverse harem on top of a zombie apocalypse on top of,
the vampire
princesses, and what else can I stuff in there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's try something.
But the peeps do like it.
No, and it's so fun. I love reading authors who are having fun and enjoying their craft.
Yeah.
I can tell if someone's doing something that they're not having fun doing, or if it's been over edited or whatever. Yes, books need editing, but I feel like sometimes, it can get over edited and not sound.
Oh, for sure. And that's when you have the problem of not remembering plot points because an editor changed something and that was what they had it solidified in their head.
Right. And the readers go for you and you're like, oh.
Yeah. I have a lot of faults. I've had a lot of criticism that I've accepted over the years. The one thing I don't have is I don't have plot inconsistencies because I kill myself over that kind of stuff. And reread the series before every new book. That's why sometimes they take longer because especially now Artemis is 21 books long. Oh my God. So
but you do plot. You do. I know you do. You guys won't see half of this, but she is a plotter and she is so thorough and
I'm always sending you weird links for research of the day. And you're like, great, now I'm hungry. Yep. That's my favorite one is you're like, I hate you, I'm hungry. Yep.
Or God, that's so beautiful. I wish I could go there or whatever, Yeah, but
the porn ones I send you are fun too.
Yes. Well, except for when I accidentally do them in non-incognito. Like, I know incognito doesn't mean it's secret, but then you start getting ads if you don't do it the right way. And
I don't even bother anymore, and I have ad blocker on my computer that I write on, so like whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. I know I'm supposed to use like a VPN and all this stuff, but like I can barely handle life as it is. Like I can't.
Right.
I just can't. So, well, I mean, this is still all we're talking about work. I'm like, wait, the podcast. We're supposed to be talking about the podcast.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right.
And it is
yeah,
all
but Vader's work. I mean, come on, he's the model for the print books. He's the face of everything half the time. Little baby.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of fun. There's obviously it's work, it's a job, but that's I think it was smart to go to one episode a month. Mm-hmm. There's enough episodes now where if people are coming in, they've got enough to go back to. Everybody's just so busy and there's so much to consume that I think 2 a month people were like, yeah, I'm behind this many episodes.
Yep. I did notice that in the comment section. Yep.
And I think it'll be easier to not have so many like 2-part episodes. Like we had so much good stuff. I think it was Sedona, and it was all work related, but it was such good stuff that we did 3 parts of Sedona.
Oh, we did. Yep. We did.
Yeah, and it was great. I love talking to her. She's so hysterical. I actually have to message her. I haven't talked to her in a hot minute.
We should.
There was so much good stuff, and we were so busy and we were running so fast, and it was like, oh, we can make 3 episodes out of this. And I don't want to like do that. I don't want it to be that stressful for us.
No.
It was too stressful, and we were just, the 1 episode a month going forward. And people really liked, from what I've gotten the feedback already, is people really liked me talking with my editor. They want more specifics, but I mean, we get along well. We've been working together for years. I wasn't nervous to talk to her, like, or you. This actually, you're the one that I've been the least worried to talk about. This is normal, like almost our normal meetings. Like, What are we doing? What's going on?
This is behind the scenes, folks. This is what actually happens between us. Well,
with a lot less swearing and dirty words,
right? And giggling and being goofs.
Oh, the giggles! Oh, the giggles we got. And then we'll just be like, whatever. We'll do the meeting tomorrow, and then we don't.
No, I'm all over you.
I make us sound so lazy.
No, we're not lazy. No.
But I make us sound lazy. We're always pushing back meetings and stuff. Because it's like, we're just, well, for one, we're not all that organized at times. But it's just like, we both were in corporate America, and we both had stuff where it's like, you say you have to go to a meeting, and it's like that dread builds inside of you.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, I've been out of corporate America for over almost 14 years.
Yeah, longer than I have. Yep.
Yeah, and I still get that when you're like, we need to have a meeting. It's like going to the principal's office. Right. We need to, a relationship. We need to talk. And I'm like, oh, no, why do we need a meeting?
Right.
Like, no. So like, we're definitely not lazy. There are so many days that you're supposed to be off that you're working. And I will text you at like, what was the other day? I texted you at like 2 a.m. because I got up to pee, and I'm texting you ideas. So like, we're dedicated and crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, very crazy. But I do think going forward, we're going to have people back. Like, I know we're recording with Dakota next month for February's episode.
Can't wait.
But I think it will be also easier for the authors, because they would come on and be like, okay, so when is this coming out? And we're like,
right.
Now it can just be, okay, whatever we record in January will be the episode in February. It can just be chiller. But yeah, so we're going to have some of the same peeps on. I think we'll have my editor back, because that was one episode that people have been like, that was not enough. I want to hear more with her and about your characters. And I'm like, then I just feel like I do all the talking.
Right. But I think that some of them, people want to hear you talk, so.
See, that's weird to me still.
I mean, we could do one where they send in questions and we pick the ones you want to answer, and I'll just read you the question and you answer the question. I mean, we could do one like that.
Yeah, we should have like, I love how I'm giving you more work, but maybe just for the editor one, just a submission form on the website asking like what questions would they want. I mean, I'm not going to I know somebody's going to ask, like, tell us the ending of Artemis. I'm not going to freaking, Like, don't be stupid.
Right.
But somebody will inevitably ask that just to see what they can get away with, because we're all children.
Right. And people have to know that we're going to get flooded with questions.
Yeah.
And just because we don't answer your question doesn't mean it's you, or we took it personally, or you didn't work it right or word it right or whatever.
Or we might answer it later. Or I'm a baby and I'll get this. There was one time that somebody submitted when I was doing the Facebook Live, somebody submitted the same question, email, Facebook during the thing, oh my God, she must have submitted it 20 times during the Facebook Live, like I didn't see it. And then she had emailed me the question before, had put it on the Facebook post, tweeted it at me, DM'd me, and I got so annoyed that I was like, I will die before I answer this question at this point. Like, and she just kept repeating it during the Facebook Live. Like,
I am not oiling you, you squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
I do not reward bad behavior.
Right.
The terrorists will not win.
Will not be held hostage.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, everybody else was ready, but there was just that one person and I forgot what the question was. It wasn't like a big deal question. It was something basic that I'm pretty sure I have answered about 15 million times. Oh, how many books in Artemis? And I think I have that number tattooed on my freaking at this point. Like,
well, there's debate because you did have that one summer session.
I did.
So I messes everybody up, and it's your own fault.
Yeah. It is my own fault on that, but
no. Come on.
Somebody did have a really great suggestion, and it wasn't a fan, so I could actually use it. Somebody was talking to me in the background, a different author, and they were saying that they hope I do not right away, but maybe later on down the line, I do a book 27 from all the guys' different perspectives. And I am not against that. I just, as a reader, to me, those always seem like not a cash grab. I don't want to insult other authors, but it just always seems like a way to, I don't know, like leave it be. So I don't know. I'm not against stuff like that. And I've had a lot of people want to see like when Tamsin has a kid, and that's complicated for me because I can't have kids. So I'm very hesitant to ever, like, Topher and Seraphine is maybe the only like kid situation I'll ever write.
Mm-hmm.
Or, maybe it would be okay for when Tamsin has kids, but like, I don't know that I'm capable of emotionally, mentally writing a character being pregnant when I can't have kids. I don't want them anymore. Like, I've come to terms with it, but we all have our limits. We all have our lines. And I think that would be too much for me.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not like a pregnancy is a quick thing. So I'd either have to like really fast forward the books, or my editor is the only one that I, trust really that's been pregnant. So she gets enough questions. I'll text her at like whatever time and I'll be like, hey, is this okay for Topher? And or honestly, that whole, like, there was a scene where she's like, why are his balls so big? And like, what is that thing on his stomach? She's like trying to call the doctor because his belly button's weird. And that is exactly how I felt when I saw a picture of it doing research. I was like, what the is that thing on his belly button? Like, what happened there? And then I read this thing where it's like babies' balls are the size that they're going to almost be when they grow up. Like, they come up. Why? I don't understand that one. But even as I was writing, it was stuck in my head. Like, that's weird. Why are they So that was Sarah's thing. She kept feeling like she was a pervert because she's like focused on his balls. Like, why are they? But I just like, it's funny for that kind of stuff, but I don't know I could really write somebody pregnant and not do more damage to myself mentally.
Oh boy.
So the future of the podcast, we've kind of said it. It's going to be easier for us because we know more what we're doing now, and hopefully that will translate to the peeps. We're going to keep it as an episode a month. I'm glad we made that change. We will have a few more episodes with my editor this year. Mm-hmm. Wait, this is coming out the first. So yeah, this year.
2024.
Yeah. What are we doing? Oh God, I can't believe it's already 2024.
Oh, and you know what?
What?
I think a lot of these conversations, we did a lot of this and that, but I think a lot of it was you getting to know the other person and then getting to know you. And so a lot of our episodes were that.
Yeah.
Getting to know each other, kind of feeling each other out. And so I think this year, when we go back to the people that we've already talked to, it'll be easier to do something else, to talk about something else.
I think it'll be fun to have like a series of character side by sides, like one of their female characters versus one of mine, or one of their male leads versus, without kind of sounding like competitive, like what made you go that route, or why is that the way, I think the more in depth is what the peeps are now ready for after so many, I don't want to say like so many intros, like we did it wrong, but you're right. I mean, it's hard to just jump in with somebody that either I don't know or the fans don't know. So yeah, I agree.
Well, and especially because it wasn't our goal to be doing commercials, like 40-minute commercials. That's not what this was, supposed to
I'm
be.
thinking of that guy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm still salty about that.
Right.
Yeah, we had another. So the first response we got, was that crazy chick. And then recently I basically got a
it was like a cold email, right?
It was a cold email that was very pretty much like, I'm going to do you the honor of letting you review my upcoming release. And that, it was the way it was worded. As an author, I cringe, because even if this was a review podcast or you were sending that to a reviewer, that is not the attitude you should ever had. There was no humility, and there wasn't much gratitude. It was very egotistical. Plus the lack of research of, I'm not a reviewer, I'm a best-selling author, don't be stupid.
Right.
So, and that's kind of what I said back very politely. And like, you need to do your research. You need to check things out. You didn't even listen to a podcast to understand what this is. And you need to do better, basically.
Right.
But I'm going to hard pass after this email. And I think the best way to describe the response I got is gaslighting.
It was.
Yeah, there was no apology.
Nope.
It was very much like, well, if you're a seasoned author, really, you should understand what a new author would be going through, and da. And I didn't say it had to be a review. I said for whatever you wanted, but I understand that this isn't, in your arena. Like, I'm incapable, and I wish you all the best. I'm like,
Excuse me?
Yeah. It was gaslighting, mansplaining, and I'm just like, you're going to do well in a business that is female heavy, you son of a...
Yep.
It was, I was, oh God, was I hot for a few days over that. And you can't reach through the...
Right. And it wasn't that it was a guy. It wasn't that it was a guy. It wasn't that it was the wrong
Well, the mansplaining part was...
I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah. It was very... like pat me on the head kind of bull.
Right.
But it was, his book is not coming out until April. It's his first book. I messed up big time when I was a new author. Well, I don't want to say big time, but I broke the cardinal rule of, you do not promote yourself on somebody else's space.
Yep.
Your social medias are like your house. You invite everybody else into. You do not walk into somebody's wedding and propose.
Right.
It is not about you that day. And I broke that as a newbie. And I remember that...
a lot of people do.
A lot of people do.
Not only authors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will never forget that blistering shame of, oh, God, I'm that person. And the person was a jerk about it. They were a very big jerk about it.
I'm sorry.
But rightfully so. I broke a big rule.
Right.
But I immediately and thoroughly apologized.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. I'm new. I didn't understand that this wasn't more of a sharing space and like, oh, me too, and I very much, and she ended up laughing like, okay, you can stop apologizing now. But I have had a lot of people since, and I like to think I'm firm but fair about it. Like, you need to not do this as a new author. Correct. We've all done it, but you need to not do it. This is how it goes, and you will get blacklisted, and people will not forget it. And most times I get I didn't think of it that way. Thanks for explaining it to me.
Right.
That I'm so sorry. It's when somebody's a jerk about it. Like, you don't own Facebook, you don't own Twitter, and you're like, no, but there's a block feature, so fuck off. Like, if you're gonna be a bitch about it, like. So this was mansplaining and God, the gaslighting. And I don't use that term loosely. I know people use trigger and gaslighting for everything, but that email was like the biggest bunch of gaslighting of like, oh, if you're not good enough to take the heat, get out of the kitchen. It's like, oh, kid who's from the picture much older than me. Hey, noob, I got like 300 books under my belt here. You're gonna love this industry. That's all I wanted to respond is, you're gonna do really well in this industry. Right. Well, on that note, on the future of the podcast, at least there are some really good behind the scenes. I don't think we've told those. Well, the one just happened not long ago, but that first one, I don't think we've dished on that. To wrap this up, it's been a lot of stress, but we've had a lot of fun, and if nothing else, we both have learned a lot. Oh, yeah, it's been a ride.
It has been a ride, but we appreciate everyone who sticks around to the end, everyone that listens, everyone that gives us comments and feedbacks. It really does help us make it more what you guys want, aligning with what we want.
Yeah. What I've got going on is House of Gardeners coming out this month. There's the newsletter every other week, every other Wednesday. So if you aren't signed up, please do, so you're staying in the loops. And next month, we've got a weekend of books. I decided to publish the shorties, Naughty Witches 4, 5, and 6. So, yep, that's what's coming down the pike. I want to give a big thanks to my lovely lady Lisa for coming on and the giggles with me and this whole journey of craziness. And here's to a future 2024 of less insanity.
May it be better.
Yeah, better be. Also to all our fans for checking out this podcast. I hope you like what you heard and decide to stick around. Please make sure to subscribe to the Fat Books Podcast on YouTube or Spotify, or that little purple icon on your Apple device. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook to stay up to date on who we're recording with and when episodes are coming out. There's also a Patreon if you want to support the podcast and keep it going. Thanks for staying till the end, and hope you enjoyed it.